We are the instruments played by the hands of God, and our life is the song. But when we get out of tune, our song doesn't become so nice. There's something in my eye. I'm out of tune. When we are out of tune, our life is no longer harmonious. We become like a broken instrument. So ask yourself this. Are your strings wound up too tight? Do you often get anxious? Are you sometimes all over the place? Is your energy high-strung? Is there a lot of tension? Or are your strings too loose? Do you often feel lethargic and tired and don't have much motivation? Or sometimes you feel like you're not truly living? And whether or not our instrument is playable by the hands of God is determined by how well we keep our body, our mind, and how properly we can balance our energies. And so the moment we discover what our dominant energy is, that is the moment in which we can begin balancing ourselves out. If we are too tight, we can loosen up. And if we are too loose, we can tighten up. And doing so will solve many of our problems. Because when we're not where we want to be, it's because we are not being who we are supposed to be. Or shall I say, life is calling us to be a certain way in which we are currently not. But this way of looking at things is the simplest and most foundational way that we can change. Rather than specifically focusing on certain elements of our life, we can generalize changing our energy that will influence all aspects of our life. For instance, if one is super chaotic, building a routine is of vital importance. That adds a large amount of order to one's life, and it also provides the foundation for one's goals and dreams and desires. You may want a certain outcome or a certain goal, but perhaps it is that chaotic energy that never allows you to build the momentum to reach it. Progress is always slow, and it appears difficult to really make change. So too, if your life is very orderly, you may become too rigid, and so the remedy is always in the opposite. Whatever it is that we lack, that is what we need. And so if we are too chaotic, we need more order in our life. And if we are too orderly, we need to just relax. Okay? If you take life too seriously, sometimes you just need to take it easy. And if you take life not seriously enough, then you probably should start taking life a bit more seriously. It is only when we are in balance and in harmony does life truly become magical. Is life even truly worth living? Because when we are not in balance, we are aligned with death. And so too, a whole bunch of suffering comes along with it. But you see, this is a journey of self-discovery. So everything that we experience, all of our suffering, is revealing something about us. But when we lack awareness, like many people do, it's like things are just happening to us all the time, and we never realize why. We just assume that, oh well, it's just the forces outside of my control. But it is our energy and the quality of it that is reflected in the quality of our life. Because energy is the force of creation, and we use the mind to direct that creative force. So whatever we are paying attention to, that is where our energy will flow. And so the entire quality of our life is determined by the quality of the things that we pay attention to. So if our energy is too chaotic, it is probable that we are paying attention to too many things that add chaos to our life. And if our energy has excess orderliness, then we are paying attention or are too attached to our routines and the way that we want things to be, and so we become rigid. Both imbalances result in suffering. You can see the reflection in the state of a country or a society. When there is too much order, it becomes a tyrannical dictatorship. And when there is too much chaos, it becomes anarchy. There is no stable system, or should I say there is no healthy system when we are imbalanced. And so it is this balance between order and chaos that is playing throughout all of existence. And when you begin looking at life from the lens of energy, you begin being able to balance all of these different situations that arise. You bring life closer to wholeness. But balancing these two fundamental elements of existence, order and chaos, in our own lives, this is only the very beginning of tuning this instrument. Because we have many more aspects to ourselves. Let's jump ahead from 2 to 7, that is, the 7 chakras. When each chakra is tuned perfectly, then we are in perfect alignment. But when any one energy center is out of balance, then we suffer the consequences in our experiences in life. So if our root chakra is out of balance, we will experience a lot of fear, a lot of worry and anxiety. If our sacral chakra is out of balance, we might overemphasize the importance of sex and give too much energy in that direction. We also might lack creativity or feel dull. When our solar plexus chakra is out of balance, we may feel powerless, or we might feel like we lack control over our lives. If we are imbalanced in the heart chakra, then we will lack love in our life. We will probably judge others and have quite a bit of disdain or hatred. If our throat chakra is imbalanced, then we will probably have difficulty speaking our truth, being honest, being straightforward. If our third eye chakra is blocked or imbalanced, then we will probably lack wisdom, live unconsciously, or be ignorant, also lacking in awareness. And if we are cut off from our crown chakra, then it is likely that we lack peace, we lack contentment and satisfaction, and we lack connection with God. These are just some examples, some ideas to play with. And so we can look in our own life and see, where are areas that I'm struggling with? What are things that I want but I can't seem to get? And what is it about me that is preventing these things from coming into my life? Because when we are in harmony, when we are in balance, things tend to work themselves out naturally. We don't have to force things to happen. They happen of their own accord. When we look at life through the lens of energy, it is much more easy to find balance once again. Whereas many of us try and go and find the latest technique, the latest tools to get our life together. What's the latest trend that we can follow and hopefully change our lives? But the fact is, change happens at the fundamental level. Unless we change our energy, it may not even be possible to change. Because once again, this energy is the force of creation. So, however much we have of it, the quality of our energy and the balance of the different energies within us will determine the quality of the things that we create in life. And the more we suffer, the more we know that we are out of balance. And when we begin integrating the opposite polarity of the energy we have too much or too little of, then we find ourselves once again in equilibrium, in harmony with the flow of life. And once again, our instrument can be played easily by the hands of God, and our song can be quite beautiful.